If you're one of the 194,000 households in the UK that made a claim for non-weather related water damage to your house last year, I might have just the gadget for you. It's called a LeakBot, and it claims to detect water leaks in your house. But how well does it work? A few years ago, we went away on holiday. And no sooner than we'd arrived at Baghdad International, or wherever it was, than our next door neighbour, who'd stopped by our house to pick up the dog, rang to say that water was pouring through one of our ceilings. Now thankfully those kinds of leaks don't happen all the time, but when they do, they're expensive. I think it was at least a couple of grand for us to repair our ceiling, and the Association of British Insurers told me that the cost of leak claims in 2020 was £525 million, which works out at about £2,700 per claim. Meanwhile, I've developed another problem which is contributing to the water loss around here. It's a leaky memory. More specifically, the problem is that I bought one of those porous soaker hoses to water the plants in the garden on the few days a year when it stops raining in England. The thing is, unlike a sprinkler, you can't actually see when it's on. And because there's no reminder to turn it off, I don't. Until October, the following year, by which time I've emptied the local reservoir. So I'm hoping this little gadget here will give me the peace of mind that my house isn't floating away when I go on holiday, and let me know when my hosepipe has been running for too long. Let's see. And if you enjoy this review, do press the subscribe button below. The LeakBot is a small battery-powered device which you clip to your mains water pipe somewhere between 30 and 60 centimetres after it enters your house and before it branches off anywhere else. For most people, that's a doddle. It was a bit more complicated for me because my mains pipe comes up through a concrete floor behind this bit of skirting here in my hall. And there wasn't 30 centimetres worth of free pipe before it branches off to various parts of our house. So I had to alter the pipework and make this rather steampunk looking arrangement. Luckily my plumber, who was otherwise engaged, talked me through the process on the telephone, sort of as if he was telling a passenger how to land a 747 when both the pilots have had a heart attack. Thanks, Simon, it seems to have worked. Anyway, you just pull the tab out from the battery compartment, then clip it onto the pipe, like so. Then download the app and connect the two. The LeakBot works by measuring the temperature of the pipe and the air around it. When it senses a temperature drop, that means water's flowing. Now LeakBot tells me that this thing is able to detect water leaks of as little as 5 millilitres per hour. But before it starts detecting leaks, it needs a few days to settle down. Bit like my Nest fire alarms, which in the first week after I installed them kept sending me messages saying, "Your house is on fire!" while I was in the pub. Now I installed my LeakBot about a month ago. I had one false alarm in the week after I installed it, but it seems to have settled down now. So time to put this thing through its paces. Now the first thing I notice about the app is that it's gathered data about our water use and displayed it on a graph. It's not precise, it just says whether you've used a high, low or medium amount of water. Now I've tried very hard to think of a single reason why I might be remotely interested in whether I've used a high, medium or low amount of water on any given day. And I can't. Nor can I think what to do with these little gems of data that the app's unearthed. Like the fact that apparently we use most water between noon and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Except perhaps use them as a riveting conversation starter at dinner parties. Did you know that in our household we typically use most water on a Wednesday? On top of that, the app has a bit of a glitch. When you have a look at your monthly use and then want to refer back to your daily use, as you surely will regularly, the graphs disappear. And the only way to get them back is to restart the app. Oh well, doesn't matter. I wasn't interested anyway. But let's go and see how well this thing works. I'll just go and turn a tap on. And here we go. A bit over an hour later, I got an email warning of a possible leak. Now, the really clever thing is how the LeakBot uses an algorithm to work out when to warn you. Household leaks tend to come in one of two flavours. The hardcore, high-pressure, burst pipe kind of a leak, or much more commonly, I understand, the insidious drip leak under the floorboards or in the walls, which happens over weeks and months and which you're very unlikely to notice until large amounts of damage have already been done. In the burst pipe scenario, which is akin to leaving the garden hose on at full blast, the length of time it takes for the LeakBot to warn you depends on how much water has been flowing in the preceding hours and days. So if you go away on holiday and there's been no water flow for a few days and suddenly it goes to full blast, you'll get an alert in around 30 minutes. If, like me, you work from home and you make about 50 gallons of coffee every day, it'll guess you're at home and not send you a warning for about an hour. With slow leaks, on the other hand, the LeakBot waits till there should be no water flowing, like the middle of the night or when you've gone to work. And then it looks to see whether the temperature in the pipe and the surrounding air have reached a state of equilibrium. If they don't, that suggests there may be a leak. Still, it could just be a dripping tap, so only after sensing the possible leak 6 times will it send you a warning. So there we have it. The LeakBot appears to do exactly what it says on the tin, with what seems to be a well-judged balance between alerting you to a real leak versus a false alarm. Insurance companies like Hiscox, Direct Line, Artshaw and Kavir are now giving LeakBots free with certain policies, so if you're with one of them, it's worth asking. If you're buying one yourself, they cost £149. And that's not cheap, but if it alerts you to just one leak before it causes a lot of damage, it will have paid for itself many times over. And in the meantime, it'll give you a little extra peace of mind when you go away on holiday. And as a bonus, it'll also remind you when you've left the garden hose running. If you know anyone with leaky pipes or a leaky memory like me, you might like to share this with them. Otherwise, till the next time, I've been Arlo Guthrie. Bye-bye.